Is me teaching you how to do the final. So first thing question we have is functions or not, and we have 3 different representations: a graph, diagram, and a table. So first one with graphs, you want to check to see if there's a time. It's called the vertical line test. If you drew a vertical line anywhere, if it hits more than once, that is not okay. See how it touches 3 times? That means it's not a function. If you had something where it only touched once, so like anything like this, it hit once, that's okay. But see how this S goes through twice, that is not okay. Our next one, when we have these, we want to make sure that each value here has 1 arrow coming out. So 5, 1 arrow, good. 7, 1 arrow coming out, good. 8, 1 arrow coming out, good. And 10, 1 arrow coming out, good. So that means it is a function. It is okay. See how 2 has 2 arrows pointing to it? That's okay. But it's not okay. Let's say 5 went to have 2 arrows to 0 and 2. That's not a function. But 1 arrow from the left. All right, our next one, a table. We want to make sure we don't have the same x value twice. So if we look here, we have 1, 2, and 1, 5. That is not okay. It is not a function. That takes care of your first set of questions on your final. Your next ones we have 3 are write the slope intercept form. All 3 of these, we're going to do very similar process. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to find slope. All right, first things first, finding our slope. We have 2 points. So I'm going to use my equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to have 4 minus -5 over -2 minus 0. That's going to become 9 over -2. That's my m. Slope intercept form, that is our y equals mx plus b. So I already know I should have something that is -9/2 in the front. So that's my slope. Right away, I already know the answer. I'm going to highlight these real quick while I'm here. I already know it's going to be d because of this slope. However, how we're going to continue to solve for this is you can either plug in a point, that's option 1, or you can use point intercept or point slope form. With points plugging in, let's take our first point. I'm going to plug that in for x and y. So I'm going to have -5 equals 9/2 0 plus b. And I'm going to solve for b. So I get -5 equals b because that cancels out, which is then what we have here. And that would mean, boom. I could also use point slope, which I will use on the next one. So that's option 1. All right, that's number 2. Number 3, find the slope intercept form of the equation through the point and parallel to this equation. Parallel lines have the same slope. So it tells me the line it's parallel to. So that means I already know my slope. My slope has to be 6/5 because it's parallel to that line. It has the same slope. So I already can tell the answer. I don't even have to do work. Guess what? I already know it's 6/5 x plus 3. If I was going to do the work, I know my slope is 6/5, so m is 6/5. My pen gonna write? M is 6/5. If I was gonna do point slope, that's where we have y.
What would we call it?
Yes. It is very cold in my room. Your sweater is so cute.
I thought it was just me.
No, you're not alone. Okay, my pen is dying. So you have to wait for me to move. And then I need a calculator. All right, we are hopefully back. So point slope is where we have y1, y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. So I would replace my y1s with my points. And then I'm going to go ahead and distribute that 6/5 plus 6/5 times 5. That's going to cancel out the 5, so I'm going to have 6. And then just get y alone. And that's what we have, so we will be good. All right, our next one, perpendicular. What perpendicular does is it takes our slope and it becomes the negative reciprocal of it. So my slope is I'm gonna take negative 1/5 and it's gonna turn into positive 5/1. So it flips and becomes opposite, which is just 5. Right away, once again, I know my answer. If my slope is 5, that's my only option with 5. So I don't even have to continue to do the work, but I will do it. So I'm going to do the same process as that one. So I have y minus y1, m x minus x1. And then I'm going to plug in my point. Y minus 2 equals 5x minus 5 plus 2. And I get y equals 5x minus 3. If you don't like your point slope form, that's what I've done before. We can do the same one we did on 2. So I could do y equals 5x plus b. And I can change 2 equals 5 times 1 plus b. Subtract. I get b equals negative 3. And boom. So you can use either method. Doesn't matter to me. And that's our first page of our final. Honestly, I feel like it's not too bad, but that's just me. All right, next one, we want to find the intercept and graph the equation. So we have 5x plus 4 equals 20. So we have for our intercepts, x-intercept. That means we want a number for x and y is 0. And our y-intercept, I want 0 for x and a number for y. So for my x-intercept, I'm going to keep x there and I'm going to place y with 0. And I'm going to solve for x. I get 5x equals 20, so x equals 4. And then y-intercept, replace x with 0. We want to keep our y because we want to solve for y. So 4y equals 20 and y equals 5. So then 4, 0, 0, 5. Boom. All right, we're moving and grooving. Next up is solve the following. All right, inequalities. So when I have them combined like this, just solve for your middle part. So we're going to solve for x. What we do to one in the middle, we do to both sides. So I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to subtract 3. We have to subtract 3 from everything. So I'm going to get negative 90 is less than negative 10x, less than or equal to negative 50. Okay, so I'm subtracting 3. Then I'm going to divide by negative 10 to everything. And we're dividing by a negative. So it's going to switch over my inequalities for both of them because they're both sides are getting divided by a negative. And boom, we have our answer. All right, or that means I have 2 separate answers. Same thing, so I'm going to solve my left, minus 8. I get negative n is greater than or equal to negative 1. And divide by negative 1. We're dividing by a negative, so it's going to switch. And then same thing over here. negative 4n less than or equal to negative 36. Once again, I'm dividing by a negative, so I'm going to get n is greater than, switch it, then 9, and this is an or, so I'm going to have an or in between. Alright, next one, I'm trying to get solve for c, so I have f equals 9c over 5 plus 32. Always move over subtraction and addition first, so subtract 32. So I'm going to have 5f minus 32 equals 9c over 5. Anytime you have a fraction, multiply. So I have 5f minus 32 equals 9c. Divide by 9. Divide everything by 9. So c equals 5f minus 32 over 9. Boom. Alright, our next one, you have to use a calculator. Least squares regression, you use a calculator. So I'm going to hit stat on my calculator. So again, I'm on stat, I'm hitting enter on edit, and I'm going to put the years in my L1 values. And then 2005. And then I'm going to put the tuitions in my L2 values, 8467, 8480, 9781, 10741, 1224. Okay, once you've inputted your list, you're going to hit stat again. You're going to scroll where it says calc, and you're going to click on number 4, linear regression. You're going to hit calculate. It's going to give you a y equals ax plus b. You're going to replace a and b with what it says. So I got y equals 277, and it says 2 decimals. I'm not going to be picky. I'm going to just write 2 decimals x. And it says y-intercept to the nearest integer. I'm going to make this a whole number, so that will be negative 543,747. Again, I'm not going to be too picky. As long as you generally got those numbers right, I will be okay with that. What is the tuition in 2010? So I'm going to just replace x with 2010. And then on my calculator, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So 277.09 times 2010 minus 543,747. I got 13203.9. That is our tuition in 2010. And boom, that is our first section of our test.